Hello, I'm Tkautz and I'm an actress and a singer. I think everyone cops their fair share of bullying, but there's bullying and then there's really bullying, tormenting somebody on a day-to-day basis, and I think that's where it gets really dangerous, especially for young minds who are coming into themselves and learning about who they are as a person. To have that kind of pressure on top of peer pressure would be really, really difficult. And yeah, that used to happen at school, absolutely. And I remember this one girl who was just that little bit different than everybody else, and she would get bullied every day. And it wasn't physical bullying, it was mental bullying, and I think it's just as bad. And still to this day, you know, I think about this girl and where is she now, and how did she get through that time? Because it would have been really tough. And even though I wasn't the one doing the bullying, I knew it was going on, and it's so weird. Not that I stood there and listened to it, but I knew it was happening. And you don't go to a teacher, and I didn't understand. Still to this day, I don't understand why I never went to a teacher. And I guess because you would be dobbing on your peer, or you would be dobbing on somebody that you're in class with, and then all of a sudden, are you going to become the victim? So I think it's really important, even for kids at school now, is to tell somebody. If you know somebody's really having a rough time, tell somebody. It's hard. It's a hard situation, really hard. I was so naive when I was a child. The last thing I thought was, this girl might be in trouble. She might not be coping with this well. I really should tell somebody. It's just, you just don't think about that. You really don't. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think if it was physical, I think somebody would have said something. But I think because it was just tormenting, you know, it was just verbally tormenting somebody. It just happened every day, you know. It just became everyday life, everyday school life, I guess. And I always think about that girl and think about what she went through. I mean, we've all had our fair share. I had my fair share at school, but it wasn't constant, you know. It didn't cause me any huge problems. But I always think about this girl and wonder whether it scarred her. Look, I think being in the public eye, people are always going to have their opinion of you. Whether that's bullying or not, I suppose it is, to a certain extent, it is kind of bullying. But people either love you, or they like you, or they dislike you, but you put on a platform for people to have an opinion about you. And sometimes their opinion is great, and sometimes it's wrong, and sometimes it's nasty. And unfortunately, it's the industry that I've chosen. And they've said things about me before that have been not true, a complete lie actually, but I never sort of came back at them. I just let them, well, I know it's not true, so let them say what they want to say, kind of thing. And I think it's funny because the older you get, you put things into perspective, and you realise what's really important to you and what's so not important. And I think you become stronger within yourself, and hurtful words and things tend to bounce off you better than when you're younger, if that makes sense. Well, my personal change is I know who I am as a person. I know what's really important to me and as a person, and that's what takes priority. My family, friends, I love what I do. I love singing, I love acting. I'm not going to let anyone change that, you know. You become the person that you are. You become a stronger person, a person with beliefs and strengths and all these things that you don't have when you're young and growing up and coming into yourself. You're naive, you're scared, you don't know what kind of a person you are, you don't know what you want to be. And I guess as you get older, you realise what's really important. And yeah, you tend to let things bounce off you, nasty things, and not let them into your little world. I think it's really important to talk to your parents. I think it's really important to talk to the people that are willing to listen. Don't push things so far deep inside that you're living with it, you forget that it's actually tormenting you. I think you need to get it out in the open, and get it out in the open to the right people though. Speak to your teachers, speak to your parents, speak to volunteer workers who are there to help you. There are lots of people you can speak to. And I think the longer you keep quiet about it, the more damage it's going to do and the more it's going to torment you. And you can't let these people who are nasty and mean come into your world. You have your family, you might have brothers and sisters and really good friends, and that's what should be the most important. And you've just sort of got to shut it off. You know, I know it's easier said than done, but I think the main key is to speak to somebody about it, absolutely. I think the more that you're in the public eye, the more you know you're going to cop people's opinions. And one thing that I do to get through that is I don't read the paper. If someone says, "Oh, you're in the paper," I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's great," you know, and I might have a quick look at the picture, but I don't really get into the gossip side of it, because I think the less you know, the better off you are sometimes, especially if they're saying things that aren't that nice. I know who I am as a person. I know I'm a good person. There's people around that love me, and that's, like I said before, that's what's most important to me. So yeah, even if someone did say something nasty about me, I sort of laugh about it now, because everybody has their own opinion. But as you're older, you realise that it's just an opinion and it's not the end all of everything. You tend not to believe everything they're writing about you. But when you're younger, and you have innocent minds, you think, oh my God, maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe I am that person. You know what I mean? I don't know. But it would be hard. It would be hard, and it's much easier when you become older to deal with it. Absolutely. And you just handle it better. You know who you are as a person. You're confident about who you are as a person. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. You sort of got to cop that attitude, and that's hard. It's a hard place to get to, really. But once you get there, it's amazing. Not everybody has that relationship with their parents where they feel as though that they can tell them absolutely everything. And I think it's really important for every child who is being bullied and is being tormented to know that they do have somebody that's going to listen to them and really listen to them and do something about their situation. There are two organisations that you can definitely call if you're at school, you're being bullied, you're being tormented, and you feel as though you've got nowhere else to turn. Is Lifeline, which has been around for many, many years, and they're amazing. And also there's Headspace, which the numbers are at the bottom of the screen, and you can call and there'll always be a listening ear on the other end of the phone. Become a community brave mentor, and together we can change the world.